Alright, big night for the Valks because they finally beat the Lynx and they locked them up to 66 points on the night. And they had 17 turnovers for the Valks to capitalize off with 21 points. And that was basically the difference of the game. And I would go through all the misses, but it just take too long. So I want to just go through the turnovers. Because if you have a lot of turnovers, that's probably a big reason why you couldn't find a rhythm on the night. See this first one? You got Burn matched up with Miles. We're going high cross, right to left, taking that early drag from Howard. Salon's a starter? Maybe not. 6:41 the first. But Burn, she goes under, she slides, she's there. Cuts that off. Yup. And then Fee, she was rim running. Looks to duck in. Gabs early. Calling for the rock. Look for the entry. But Gabs, she's caught on her low side. Quickly climbs up. Reaches. And then doesn't get the deflection. Fee is somehow able to just hold on to the rock. But now she's swarmed. Burton, she commits. Hayes, she commits. Now you got three converging. And now you get to steal. Because she tried to find the outlet. But what happened? I can't really tell. But now you get to pick. And you push the rock. And now you're running. This has to be a 2-3, right? Yeah, it is a 2-3. It makes sense because they run this regularly, at least compared to the rest of the W. I'm not even sure if other teams do run zone regularly, but for them it is a staple coverage. I can see Fee. She's looking to flash middle, right at the elbow, but Salon's going to follow that. So she's there all the way. Caldwell. She looks for it, but I can see Burton. She's there, active, jumping, high hands. You deny it. Now you basically turn into a ball screen. But look at Hayes in the gap, right there at the nail. So now she's looking to turn a corner to her strong hand. She's greeted. Burton, she opens up, sees it, looks to go under, but you don't need to, because now you're on the rock. And now one dribble, you're bouncing one pass away, gonna stunt the stunner? Yup. And they're very disciplined at these stunts where they jump wide to take away the extra. And now she's got to dribble and then make that extra. So you stunt the nail, don't get a deflection, you stunt the stunner, you look to recover, you try to kick, you reach, rip the rock from her, you get a steal. Because she somehow splits, but even here, look at Hayes. Doesn't even care about a kickball. Anything to deny a pass. Just using her legs. Even here. She's looking to split. Just use your legs. And then it kind of messes her up because Hamzova, she drives a slot. And then she sees the legs, so she's got to go out. But by going out and coming off her line, she's running into Zanalacini here. So then she sees the rock is exposed. I'm ripping that. And even if somehow she beats these two off the split, look at Salon. Because she was there. Once she realizes I don't have to stay there with Fee flashing middle, she gets back down. And now she's greeting Hamzova if she were to get all the way to the rim. But just a fluid 2-3. 10-13 with 2 left in the first is crazy. This must have been all defense. We've got Fee, 17 on the clock, so early drag. I can see Juhas. She's got Mouse in the house. Cross match, you got to find her inside. Got to. Nope, you don't, because maybe she can't see. Because Fee's right there standing in her way, trying to set that drag. It's kind of awkward. Caldwell, she's trying to navigate it. Nope, I'm there. I'm sliding in front. Now you're stuck. You gotta go hand off the coffee because, as I always say, players are allergic to the deep corner. Everybody stops at the break. Not sure why, but now all she can do is that. Reverse it to Fee. But Salon, she's there. She's reading it. Gets on the line. I'm shooting that. That's too easy of a poach. It's kind of careless from Coffee too. Because she sees Salon right there. Easy read. I'm picking that off. I'm pushing the rock. You get a run out? No, she smokes that, but Burns there. Hamzava. Good effort here. Because 2-on-1? How do you not drop off here? Behind the back? Or even here, one dribble, you see her committed. Just stole that? 56.6. This must be the wrong clip. Well, let's see. Hamzava directing traffic again, 2-3. Everybody's communicating, you can see it. Yuha, she comes down, flips. Let's give you that early drag. Try and part the seas. But Hayes, she feels it. Nope, I'm getting over that. You're not going anywhere. And now she's forced to swing. Caldwell, she'll lift. Cool. Zanosini, she'll lift with her. Yuha, she's calling for the rock. Nothing. Reverse it. And now what? Fee. She dives. Flashes middle. Now you reverse. Nope. Gets deflected. Just look at the fluidity. Everybody's taking away everything. She's communicating. Yo, Burn, get out. But she's on the rock. One dribble. She reaches. Gets a deflection. Damn near another pick. Still in the first too. We got Yuhas, not on the clock. She's looking to drive the slot. I think the Valks are back in a 2-3, right? Yeah, they are. Not sure why Yuhas had the rock, but she's going to drive. You can see Amahir's there. Good stunt by Charles. And then Chen. She's going to break. But now Fee's going to look to drive. Alright, you got a size advantage. Let's see. But Chen, look at that slide. I'm there. I'm cutting that off. I'm absorbing it. Back me down. Cool. But then Gab. Again, already at the nail. Just going to shift. Get off that stunt. Fee sees it. Now she's looking to spray. But again, look at the high hands and active hands. She jumps. And now as Fee's trying to spray. Nope, I'm stuffing that. And then, who was that off? Now the rock is loose. It's a 50-50. Fee and Gabs, they both tap. Yeah, that's all Fee, right? Yeah, it was. Had to have been. Right there. And Salon was also reading that, I think. Kind of low here, but 50-50. Goes for it. Damn. Just look at that activity. Everybody's showing length, active hands, even using their legs in the gaps. Too much disruption. Still in that 2-3, right? Has to be. But you can see, even in man, there's still a heavy shell team. Everybody's in the gaps and shrinking. So right here, she's driving the slot. Salon, elbow load. I'm there, I'm stunting. Now you force her into an early pickup. And because of the high hands and activity, you get deflection. And on that weak side, you can see Gabs. She's reading it, poach. And I'm getting a pick. And now you got a 2-on-1 again. Drop off? No, just lay two. And damn, this was all in the first. Alma here. She's in the middle of that 3. Look to help up. Salon, very aggressive. But Gabs was there. And this really all happened because of Salon. The aggressive stunt, forcing the pickup. And then the active hands. See the high stick. And that allows time for Gabs to read it. and then shoot it. Miles is pushing. Williams communicating to Chen, I believe. Yo, you gotta pick her up. Who was she telling to pick her up? Because she's pointing. But to who? It should be her, right? She's the smallest on the floor. Or on the team, I should say. Now you pick her up. Cool. One dribble. U-Hoss. U-turn. I'm looping around. Looking to flip. Quick Verjao. Chen. She peeks, sees it. Chases over. And then forces a turnover. Wait, what happened? One dribble Hezi. Because Chen is there. She's sliding, but... One dribble, Miles. She just loses the rock. I don't think Chen reaches. Let me see. No, she doesn't because Miles... She's using that left hand to clamp down on Chen's inside hand or right hand here. So she can't actually reach across. At least I don't think. But then she just loses the rock. That's all just effort here. Square. She could have got clipped. Chases over. Now you force a stop. So we got Miles. Yeah, they're back in that 2-3. And then look at the communication. Everybody's always communicating, especially that back line. Gab's communicating. Yo, McBride on the wing. Charles, she peeks, sees it. Chen. She's on the rock. And now it's turning into a 1-2-2. That's what I mean about the fluidity. Sometimes a 1-2-2, depending on how the offense is aligning. Sometimes a 2-3. And right here is really man. Everybody's matched up. It's just man and everybody's in the gaps. So really just a heavy shell. And now Miles, she sees the floor, but nobody's really open. Everybody's staying at home. She's kind of upping her line a bit. And now you really have no passes. Now what? Gotta make something happen. Tween. And then you beat Chen. Let me see. Little Hezi. I'm going tween. Chen, she's stuck in mud. Then she turned the corner tight. Charles tries to stun McBride. She does the right thing. She drifts here. U-Hoss. She's looking for the duck in, but now she's looking for the pin in. Pin your own. But Miles does not see this. Because she gets downhill, splits, and then she sees Emma here. Quick 2-9. I'm helping in. Look at Salon. Right? Antennas are up. As soon as she recognizes she's getting down middle, she knows Amahir's got her help in. He's already cracking. And now you take away the options. Miles sees it. Oh, I can't float. I don't have a drop off. I'm not looking towards the left. I got to make a throwback. And it's off the mark. Because Coffee, holding her spot, trying to window shop, looks to cut, and then decides against it. Fills back out, but it's awkward because she's kind of all over the place. Cuts in, cuts back out. Miles has no idea where she is. And Miles also just doesn't see the left side. I think the reason this threw her off is because a lot of times in a W, and I say this all the time, but when you touch paint and you get the low man to rotate, that high man on that 2 side, they're never cracking back. So she was probably not expecting Salon to do this at all. And now she's kind of just thrown off because push dribble, she sees the big, she was going to make that drop off. Now she kind of fumbles a rock, sees nope, that's not an option. I'm going to make a throwback instead. But it's kind of out of panic. And usually she's not in a panic. Because right here, I think she would even look towards the left, see the pin in, and just spray that. Because, again, Charles was looking to stunt. But Coffee, bad window shopping. This was really low scoring. 20-19. Are they still in the zone? They are, right? Now you got Burren, Charles, Zanellicini. Kind of getting flexed here. It's a strong flex. Actually, it's not even really a flex. More of a rip. The angle's just kind of in between. But now she's cutting across. You dime her. But Stokes is there, she'll catch that. And then because Howard, she's used the hub, so I kind of understand why she's floating in that high post. But now Charles, free stunt, get the strip, kind of. Let me see. She catches, and now Charles swipes, does get the strip, it's loose, and then Gabs, she reads it on that weak side, gets the poke, now she's running. 2-on-1 again, drop off, yep, lay 2. Easy run out. Damn, she's really good at reading the passes and the deflections on that weak side. That's twice now. Let me see. Kind of itching. She peeks, sees McBride lifting, and then once the rock is loose, she just gambles and then just pokes that. Wow. Are they still in zone? I can't even tell. 3-2? They must be in zone, right? But I can see Stokes. She's pointing to Hayes, yo. You match up with Howard? And then you can see Hayes, she's confused. She got her hands up. What are we doing? Because why would she match up with Howard, setting this early drag? And you got Gabs, she's matched up with Caldwell. So a couple cross matches here. I think they might be a man here, right? That's why Caldwell's confused. But now off the drag, got 2 on a rock, and then she blows it up. Another deflection. So she's confused. Early drag, Zinolcini. She doesn't switch for some reason. Even though she should, but she doesn't peek at all, I can see it. So she's not even thinking about that drag. Hayes, she's thinking we're switching. She's up. And it kind of works out because Miles, she sees 2 on a rock. Howard slipping. Pass over top. But then Hayes, she's anticipating it, jumps. And then gets a deflection for the pick. Now Burton, she comes up with it. Push down that midline. Who's going to pick her up? You don't? All right, let me just get to the nail and pull 2. Miles, does she have to backpedal? I could see Fee. Yo, you got to pick her up. Go, pick her up. But she just continues to backpedal. Now she's middle of the lane line. Not middle of the lane line, middle of the lane. Right below that semi. And Burton, she sees it. All right, let me just step into this midi. Can't tell if they're in zone or not, but 28 with 2:22 to go is crazy. Got Stokes matched up with Fee. Gabs matched up with McBride. Elbow help. Now she'll break. Quick shift. Why is Burton matched up with Howard here? That kind of sucks because now I can see she's looking to exploit it. Swims around, gets in front. Let me get a duck in. Find me inside. But that gets blown up. Because Burton, she's fighting. She's actually got both hands on her. And then McBride, she throws it to Howard's inside hand. And then Burton, she just climbs up. Gets a hit on the rock. And just rips that away. That works too. Because if she tries to use her forearm, it's probably difficult. She might get ducked in. So maybe Howard had to do a better job of ducking in because even if McBride were to make that entry to her outside hand here, I think Burton would still be able to climb up. Or Hayes, she would be poaching that. Because she kind of is. But good fight. Now we're in the third. 38-36. Honestly, considering the amount of turnovers they had in the first half, they're not in that bad of a spot. Only down 2. Miles is pushing. Thorne's got to pick her up. Burton, she's communicating, yo, that's you. But now she's getting cross-matched against Howard again. Looking for an early duck-in. Fee, kind of trailing, but so is Gabs. So she's diving. Hit her in stride, catch, drop off. Yep, but Burns there. She went for that high-low, big. which I can understand because now Burton, she was looking to help up. Fee sees it, thinks she has a pass over top, but Burton doesn't really commit because Stokes, she's already pulled in. So she actually commits to the rock. Burton sees it. Now she looks to break. Just gets another deflection. Again, active hands. You get to pick. Now you get to push. Dribble across. Was this off a ball screen? I'm not even sure. Because it looks like Stokes went under against Miles. But it wouldn't make sense to have her matched up with her. Thornton being matched up would make more sense. But now she picks up her dribble. Hits McBride on the lift. Now she's telling her, yo, you find her inside. There's no size advantage, but you can get your post split, which is what they're looking for here. McBride's trying to call for it, but Miles is actually looking to space away. Now she's just filling over, and McBride's actually calling for the split. You can see it. As soon as she made the entry, yo, come. Let's get to our dance. And then Howard, she sees nothing. Now she's going uphill, looking for a grenade. Anyone want the rock? Nobody? I guess Fee does because she's got Burn matched up with her. I'm 45ing. Boom, big hit. Bully ball. Let me get Mouse in the house. I want to duck in, make the entry, but another poke. Burn actually peeks. And then Fee's in a full sprint. She's caught off guard. Boom. Just gets knocked back. But somehow she maintains balance and then reaches and gets that poke. That's crazy. I've lost track of how many steals she's had now. We got a top catch. Yeah, so McBride. Oh, they're going to their horns. Entry. And then Fee. She's got her hands up. I can see it. She's thinking, what are we getting to? Getting to your horns. And damn, they were down 10. So the turnover started to compound and really hurt them towards the end of the third and at the start of the fourth. And I've noticed Fee likes to play a lot of bully ball. I can see it right now. You said forget horns. I'm looking for the face cut. No, cut underneath. Face cut, nope, I'll cut underneath. But why would she even look for a face cut? If you try to duck in Stokes, that's not even an advantage. What size advantage do you have? You have none. Then you cut underneath. Try to seal her pass over top. I don't know if she can even do that. And now she kind of messes up the whole play. Now she had a clear opposite. And now on that entry, McBride's reading it. What is going on? I'll just get flared. Gabs. She's detached, but she sees the flare. She's communicating to Zanlacini, yo, switch. Switch. She does. She poaches that. Yup. Another deflection for a pick. And then right here, she taps it because it's a 50-50 between her and Coffee. Tries to tap it ahead of her, and actually, it gets deflected by Coffee. So that worked out because then Coffee reaches for it and gets deflected off her. At least it wasn't live because that probably would have been a pick six, but Howard, pass fake, looked that off. Kind of a lazy skip because as you're skipping opposite, it's an easy read. It's on the line. We got Miles pushing, looking to get downhill, attacking Gabs on her heels, but she's backpedaling, vertical. Look at the length. Miles, she tries to bulldoze, nope, I'm stuck. Salon. She also helps in. Now you got two converging, high hands too. Could she spray? She can. Kind of dangerous because Burton, she was trailing. She rotates. She jumps. And now on that catch, Fee can't just jump past that because she could find Coffee on a swing. But now she got to adjust, bring the rock down, then make that swing. And then Salon, she's able to just X. And then run her off the line. Yup, now I'm going to drive, get down a slot, and then look for a spray, but another deflection. She beat Salon, but Gabs, she's in the gap. Xana Lucini, nah, she's not really. She's just staying at home here. But the spacing's not great. And now Coffee, as she looks to drive, and then spray. Just the length again. Active hands. Showing length, and because you're ready for that, you get the deflection. Gabs there, easy break. Man. Damn, this was garbage time. 3:22 to go. I wonder when they went to garbage time. And I wonder how many times this year have the Lynx had to go to garbage time, because there's not many games where they just throw in the white towel. They're just never in this situation. So it goes to show just how good the Valks defense was. And even here, I can see the activity. They still have some starters in. And even though it's garbage time, you can see everybody's still locked in defensively. I think this is a 3-2, 2-3, because we got Burren. She's matched up with Uhas. Now she'll make that pin. So you got to pin DHO. Move that backside. Xana Lucini. She skinnies over, but she's behind. Burren, she'll switch onto the rock. You try to make that pass over top, because Uhas slips. Xana Lucini, late switch, caught high, pass over top, but Stokes, low man again, in the gap. Sitting around that lane line. Doesn't even really 2-9, but she pulls over, gets a deflection. Now you get another steal. And this is why you have to be in the gaps. Because had Stokes just been hugged for no reason, she's not ready or even there. She'd be way too late to even get this deflection. So a minute later, still have their starters in, or some of them I should say, and still locked in defensively. Back in that 2-3. Baby's trying to set that ball screen. Gabs, again, she's there at the nail. Easy switch. Now she looks to pop. Nope, I'll switch that. Blow it up. Now you go backdoor. Nope, I'm reading that. Which I can understand, because Hamzava, she goes for that corner cut. Burton, she's upping the line here. But she's reading that the entire time. Not a great bounce either. No power behind that. She just reaches back. I guess that's steal. But watching the tape, I can see why they're number one in defense. Not even just zone-wise. I think their man is the same, because they're just a heavy gap team. Everything's just dependent on their shell. Everybody knows where to be, what to do. There's constant communication. Nobody's just hugged for no reason. It's crazy. And it kind of reminds me of the Thunder, just because of the active hands and the way they always show length. Everybody's jumping.